We ran out of time when you were talking to our last couple, and they agreed to come back tonight. Well, they're here, and just to bring us up to date, they were both single, although the young man did go on record as saying that he was engaged to be married. And, of course, you remember the young lady, an airline hostess for the German airline Lufthansa. So here they are again, Margot Rode and K.W. Shelby. So, folks, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome again to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and you win an extra $100. Margot, it's nice to see you again. When we were interrupted last week, your partner here, Mr. Shelby, was in the middle of some kind of a cock and bull story about a water heater exploding and blowing him to California. Now, let's start this all over again. What actually happened?
The heater was out, and I lit a match, and the kitchen blew up. The room
You went out the window?
Well, no.
You said Schweinhund, and that's the secret word tonight. So you win $50 without doing anything. But you're not home yet, kid, and you win $50 too, huh? Well, now, what happened? It blew you out the window?
No, it just sort of blew me into the other room.
Uh-huh. Does everybody that gets blown out of a kitchen decide to come to California?
Well, no, this I don't know.
Well, why did you come?
Well, I'd lived out here before, and I wanted to come back. I liked it very much.
You were in New Orleans then, huh?
Yes.
And were you blown to New Orleans? Is that how you got there?
No, I got to New Orleans on a train.
Oh. What happened after you blew into town? Anything exciting?
I guess about the most exciting thing that happened was that I won a limerick contest.
Oh, you're an intellectual, is that it? What was your prize-winning limerick? Do you remember, or are you lucky enough to have forgotten it?
Yes, I think I remember.
Could you recite it for us?
Yes.
She's never heard any of the great American poets.
I doubt if she will now.
Why don't we let her decide that?
Well, that's...
You may be crazy. You like poetry, Schiller and Goethe and all the...
Well, let's see what he has to say.
Yes, that's what I
like
said,
that,
yeah. You can keep your nose out of this. I can talk to him without you butting in, you know. What was the lyric? Let's hear it.
Well, it went like this.
You blowhard, you.
On an island with nothing else but a coconut tree and a hut, two men and a dame played the triangle game till alas the swains met with rebut.
And you wrote this yourself?
Part of it.
Part of it? You mean this was a collaboration? Give us the last line again. That intrigues me. Huh?
Till alas the swains met with rebut.
Till the last of the swains met with rebut. Now, that's just like Heinrich Heine, isn't it?
Almost, yes.
You like that, huh? Mm-hmm. What does that mean, do you know?
I don't know.
No. The rest of it is pretty bad, but that last line is terrible. How did you allow that to sneak in there, that last line?
That was the only line I wrote.
And that was the winner? You can imagine what the losers must have written. Well, what did you win for writing this epic? A revolver with only one bullet?
No, I won an island in the South Seas.
Who owned the island before you won it?
It was a British possession.
I knew the British Empire was breaking up, but I didn't think they were giving away pieces of it as prizes in a limerick contest. That is really a shrinking empire there. What kind of an island was this? Was it romantic?
Yes, it was romantic. The tropical moon and swaying palms and a nice coral beach. And
Margot, before you marry him for his island paradise, do you have any questions you'd like to ask him about the island?
Well, yes. How big is it?
That's a very good question. Who cares about the tropical moon, the sleepy lagoon? What she wants to know is, does it have any income property on it? Well, Shelby, how big is it?
Well, at low tide it's 35 acres, and at high tide it's 5 acres.
Well, Shelby, my advice to you is, the next time it's low, get out. You ever plan to visit this paradise again?
I have been there.
Recently?
Yes, fairly recently.
Why did you leave there, this paradise?
Well, for about 2 weeks it was very nice. We had all the comforts of home, and our food was furnished in pots and pans and beds and everything. And so after 2 weeks, the sponsors of the contest came and took all the stuff away. And so we were sort of left on our own, and we slept on the floor on straw mats and ate raw fish and drank tea. And finally we just gave up and came on home.
Could you give us the last line of that deathless line that won this island for you?
Until at last the Swains met with rebut.
Well, in my opinion, he got just what he deserved. Margot, let's get back to you, and none too soon. Do you have any boy friends?
Oh, yes. Well, they are all over the world, actually.
Well, that's a very pleasant arrangement. Well, tell us about your job, Margot. For example, what kind of food do you serve on the air? Sauerkraut and knackwurst?
Sure. But apart from that, we also serve caviar and lobster and goose liver pate and...
Goose liver pate, and two on an island. Champagne?
3 kinds of red wine and 3 kinds of white wine and 4 kinds of beer. Anything you want.
3 kinds of red wine, 3 kinds of white wine, and 4 kinds of beer.
German beer, of course.
Oh, sure. And you pour this into your passengers while they're up in the air?
Yes.
I have only one question to ask you. How do you ever get them down again? Are you interested in matrimony, Margot?
Well, yes.
What kind of a man would you like to marry, Margot?
Well, I guess, first of all, he's got to be handsome, you know.
You want him to be handsome, huh?
Oh, yes.
You'd also like him to be rich, too, wouldn't you?
Sure.
Well, I'd hardly say that Shelby was an Adonis, but he certainly isn't a dog. Would you be willing to marry Shelby?
Well, Grocer, I don't think I stand a chance. I think he's engaged, isn't he?
So what? Slipping 3 kinds of white wines, 3 kinds of red wine, and 4 kinds of beer? You take off for Germany without even going to the airport. Now, this is your last chance, Shelby. You really love this girl, and you want to marry her?
Which girl?
Boy, I got him on the ropes, I think. Say yes or no.
Yes, I do.
Yes. Margot, do you think he ought to go ahead and get married?
I think he should.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Well, good. Now you both said yes. I now pronounce you man and wife. And I do hope you'll be very happy together on that little island in the South Seas. And if you want to go out at night, you can always go out with the tide. Well, I'm sorry I couldn't get you two really interested in each other, but apparently Shelby is a loyal lover, and you have other plans besides. But that's life.
I have.
However, you're going to be partners at making some money, and that also can be important. So, George, would you like to fly to Germany with a beautiful hostess?
Yes,
And
it
4
sounds
kinds...
great.
What?
Even without the wine and stuff, it sounds good.
Now, you understand this game? There are 3 kinds of questions, 100, 200, and 300. Now, these are the hardest, these are medium, these are the easiest. Now, you can pick what you want. If you went up to $500, you get a chance at the big question. If you don't, you just keep what you earn.
I might add you could get 4...
You keep out of this, will you?
No, you get 4 questions.
You selected world capitals. You understand anything about it? You ought to be flying around all the time.
Well, a little.
All right, you pick the first one, Margot.
$200 one?
Oh, you're going to be ashamed to take it. What's the capital of West Germany? I could make it tougher by asking her who was buried in Grant's tomb.
Well,
Who's buried in Grant's tomb?
Who?
What's the capital, the western capital of the capital of West Germany?
Well, it's Bonn right now.
Yeah, that's right. I had a bun on the other night. All right.
You have $200, 300 more, and you'll get a chance at the $10,000 at the end of the show. Oh, a $300 one.
What's the capital of Liberia?
Monrovia.
Monrovia is right. We have one here in
And you now have $500, which means you're eligible, but this is on the house. Go ahead, take 2 more. You get to keep all this money, by the way.
For 300 smackolas, what's the capital of Burma?
Rangoon.
Rangoon is right. How much do they got now?
800.
Oh, boy.
Go all out.
Yeah, you're in now. You're in for the $10,000
Say, you want any more
chance.
money here, you may switch and marry her. What is the capital of Ecuador?
Quito.
Quito is right.
And you wind up with $1,100.
Congratulations, kid, and it was lovely
you,
having you
Groucho.
up here.
Been fun.
Groucho, I'd like you to meet Jack Hanson and Joy
What do you
Newfield.
mean you'd like me to meet him? I don't have any choice in the matter.
No, you don't, so come out and meet him, folks.
Welcome to you. That's right. Say the secret word and divide an extra $100. Now, let's see. Jack Hanson and Joy Newfield, eh? Is that right?
That's right.
We could use more of both of you around here, Joy and Jack. Are you married? Huh?
No.
Are you married, Joy?
Yes, I am.
You
I've been
are?
married for 22 years then. So.
No kidding. You certainly don't look it. You could have said you've been married 10 years, and I wouldn't have known the difference. Why don't you try doing that the next time somebody asks you how long you've been married?
I couldn't get away with it because I have 3 children, and my oldest one is a 20-year-old girl.
Well, put your 20-year-old in diapers, shove a milk bottle in her mouth, and tell everybody you just got married.
I don't think she'd like that.
Does she like milk? What kind of work does your husband do?
He's a Connecticut tobacco grower and packer. That's
I
a
thought
fine
tobacco came from the South, isn't that right?
Yes, but it's grown in Connecticut, too. The finest cigar tobacco is grown in Connecticut. That's a fine-looking cigar you have there. It must have come from Connecticut.
Oh, this fine cigar I'm smoking came from the window of a Mack truck on the freeway. I don't usually get them this long. Joy, you are indeed a rarity. Apparently you encourage your husband to smoke cigars?
Oh, yes, because real He-Man smokes a cigar.
Yes, they do. This is my only identification with that. And now then, who are you, did you say?
Jack Hanson is my name.
You didn't say who you were.
Not yet.
How old are you, Jack?
26.
And, where are you from?
San Francisco, Groucho.
Are you married?
Yes, I am.
Did you meet your wife in college?
No, I didn't, Groucho. I met her in high school.
You met her in high school?
That's right.
Is that why girls are going to high school now, to snag a husband?
Well, I didn't get married in high school, Groucho.
You mean you didn't get married during the classes?
No, it was much later than that.
Around 5 that afternoon? Well, what happened after that, Jack?
Well, after high school, I suppose you mean, I went to San Francisco City College. And I went there for 6 months.
Why only 6 months?
I flunked out, Groucho.
You must be very smart to be such an outstanding failure at an early age. What happened after they tossed you out of college?
After college, I went to the Air Force and was stationed at an Air Force base.
And that's when we began our decline as a military power.
No, after 2 months at the base, they decided they didn't know what to do with me. And I didn't know what to do with them, so they shipped me to an Army base.
And then what happened?
Well, the same thing happened. They also couldn't seem to find a place for me, and so they sent me to a Navy base.
You know, up until now, I never realized how much the armed forces hated each other. Well, after the Navy threw you out, did you ever get a job? Did you join the Coast Guard?
Well, no, I decided the best thing for me to do was to go right out into the working world.
Why did
Get
you
a job.
skip the Marines?
They were afraid to even try to handle me. So
You went and got a job?
I went and got a job, and I got a job in a suntan lotion factory, as a matter of fact.
Well, what happened after you fired? They fired you?
Well, not until after 3 days.
And then you went back to high school, I suppose, huh? What happened then?
Well, no, from there I decided I went to San Francisco State.
What is that, a penitentiary? I never heard of that.
No, as a matter
Is
of
it something like Alcatraz?
well, sometimes we feel that way, but actually it's a very famous college. In fact, George Fenneman went there.
Who? George Fenneman? Well, then I was right. Do they ever mention Fenneman up there in those hallowed halls?
Well, he's mentioned all the time, Groucho.
Yes?
He's one of the outstanding graduates of the radio TV department.
George Fenneman, do you mind coming out here? This is rather personal, but I think you ought to be in on this. Now, George, did you know that you were the outstanding graduate of some fly-by-night college up north?
Well, I heard Jack talking. I know I did graduate.
You were eavesdropping on
Yes.
the side.
Right there.
Why do they...
It isn't a fly-by-night college. Let's get that straight now.
You mean they don't have any college? It's just flies there?
Let's leave it at fly-by-night. We're ahead, I think.
Well, I hate to break this up. You're real charming, both of you. The time has come for you to win some money now. George, tell them how we play this game.
The box is divided into $100, $200, and $300 questions. Of course, the $100 ones are fairly simple. The $200 ones are more difficult, and the $300 ones are pretty tough. Now, you get 4 questions. You get to keep all the money you win, and the object of the game is to earn at least $500, because if you do, you can come back at the end of the show and try for $10,000. So
Now, you selected for your quiz science and medicine.
Yes,
And this is a $300 question.
that's right.
What is the instrument used to measure the densities or specific gravity of liquids?
Hydrometer?
Hydrometer is right.
And you now have $300. 3 more choices.
You get 3 more chances. You string with a winner.
No, you're going to stick with 300.
What metal has the highest melting point?
Melting point?
Melting
The
point.
highest melting
Yes,
point.
the melting point. It's up near Malibu.
Iron. Iron,
No, it's tungsten. Well,
Well, you don't lose any money. You still have your $300. You have 2 more chances.
All you got to do is win 500 to get a crack at the big wheel.
This time, $200. This will give you a chance at the big money.
Little chicken, you switched, I see, from 3 to 2, huh? For $200, what is the name of the science that studies heredity?
Genetics.
Genetics is right.
You now have $500. 1 more question.
Now you're home anyhow. You might as well go for...
This is 300 again.
300. It'll give you 8 if you win. And it'll give you ulcers if you lose.
No.
No, I hope not. Well, what is the chemical name for ordinary chalk?
I know that. It's not graphite.
It's calcium carbonate. Well, you won
Yes, you won
$500.
$500, which of course earns you a chance to come back and try for $2,000, $5,000, or $10,000 at the end of the show.
Well, thanks for showing up. We hope you go for the big money.
Title to try for the big money tonight, Groucho. First, here is K.W. Shelby and Margot Rose.
This year, everybody who wins at least 500 in the quiz gets a chance at the wheel. And if you miss the big question, you still get to keep everything you've earned so far. Clear? Now, you take 2 numbers, anything from 1 to 10. Now, you pick a number.
8.
8, then that'll be for $10,000. Now, you pick a number.
Number 3.
That's for $5,000. If either of these numbers comes up, this is what you'll win. If neither number comes up and you answer the question, you get $2,000. Understand?
Yes.
Okay, now, one of you turn the wheel. Had to come from Germany yet, huh? All right, here it is for $10,000. The 1959 Pulitzer Prize play was J.B. For $10,000, tell me who wrote it. What's the answer you two have decided upon? Time's up, kid. Time's up. Well, it's Archibald MacLeish, leading American poet, former head of the Library of Congress. So it's too bad you missed the big money, but you won $1,100, and that you can keep. So congratulations, and thanks for being with us.
Doctor, here, Jack Hanson and Joy Newfield, who had a try at the $10,000.
Now you pick a number from 1 to 10.
1.
1. And what number would you want?
7.
That's for $5,000. If either of those two numbers comes up, you can win 5 here and 10 here. If any other number comes up, the question is worth a total of $2,000. Whatever you win is your total for the night. Okay, one of you spin the wheel. Well, you picked 1 and 7, and it came up 3, so this question is worth $2,000. The Crusades of the Middle Ages were aimed at the recovery of the Holy Land from Islam, I guess. For $2,000, can you tell me the name of the great Sultan who led the forces opposing Richard the Lion-Hearted and other Crusaders? What's the answer you do?
Saladin.
Saladin is right. Well, you two won $2,000, and they won what before? How much before?
I've forgotten now.
Well, anyway, you won $2,000, and what are you going to do with it, Sway?
Well,
You going to retire?
a little young for that. I'm going to pay some medical bills and put it aside for the time I lose my next job.
Oh. And you, what are you going to do with yours?
I'd like to send some blind girls to camp this summer.
Huh? Offhand, I couldn't think of a better way to spend the money. Congratulations and thanks
Thank you very
to
much.
both of you, and you bet your life.